I kid you not. When I heard that a sequel for Spider-Man Far From Home was coming out, I said there's no way they're going to get me to buy a ticket unless Toby and or Andrew come back. Hello YouTube, Joe Kiger here, and today I'm doing something that's never been done before. I'm talking about a Marvel movie. I unfortunately am not a fan of the MCU Spider-Man at all. It's not Tom Holland's fault. He's a good actor, and I think the writers have done a good job of portraying him as a young kid dealing with all these big things. But I think the youthfulness that he embodies borders on immaturity, and that's where I don't like his character. He's very immature. He doesn't really deal with real consequences for his actions, and I haven't really seen significant growth from his character, even though he's appeared in 5 MCU films so far. I get that he's young and he's going to make mistakes, but at some point, when is he going to own up to the responsibility of being Spider-Man that is so central to his character? This is a huge issue for me. I also do not like the supporting characters in Homecoming and Far From Home. There's so much comedy in these movies, and I've addressed this in another video, but the MCU is all about humor now, and it affects the tone so heavily to me. I don't feel any real weight, any real stakes when these big things are happening. I don't feel that there's any threat to Spider-Man. I don't feel that he's really dealing with any legitimate battles, and I don't like that. I need some seriousness, I need some weight, I need some drama in the midst of all this comedy. So with that said, I am not a fan of the MCU Spider-Man. I have problems with the supporting characters and the overall tone of the movies being too comedic, but mainly the number one reason is just I don't like Peter Parker. I do not like the approach they've taken with him. He feels immature to me. He doesn't feel like a responsible person, even though, again, that's what Spider-Man is all about. But with all that out of the way, here is my number one reason why I'm scared for No Way Home. This movie seems like it's going to be too big. The runtime is 2.5 hours, and that is an immediate red flag to me. I always get scared when movies are over 2 hours long, because so many movies have just filler, they're boring, pacing is bad because the runtime is just too long. And so there's a lot of characters that have already been confirmed for No Way Home. I don't know how they're going to balance them. I fear that they won't do a good job of balancing them. I fear that the plot won't be very focused with its characters, and it just feels so large scale. And because I haven't really liked the first 2 movies, for them to do something this monumental, I feel that it is not going to end well. My second big fear for No Way Home is the inclusion of Doctor Strange. I like Benedict Cumberbatch as this character. Doctor Strange is likable to me. But even just from the short clips we've gotten of him in trailers, he seems like a completely different character. His motives make no sense. In Infinity War, he explains to Tony, it's like, look, if it's between Peter and the stone, I'm letting Peter die. And you're like, okay, he's got a strong moral compass, I think is what Tony says. But now Peter's like, oh, they know my identity. And Doctor Strange is like, okay, we'll just erase the whole timeline. That is not something that Doctor Strange would do unless he's being altered in some way. If there's like an evil Doctor Strange, I don't know what's going on there, but I'm scared for that. I am worried about the character of Doctor Strange. And also I'm worried about Peter Parker again. Why is he so reliant on everyone else? Let this kid go through his own battles. Please, I'm begging you, Marvel. Let him be independent, let him be responsible, and let him grow in himself without relying on Mysterio or Iron Man or Doctor Strange or the rest of the Avengers. I'm sick of this. Please stop. The third and final reason I'm scared for No Way Home is the inclusion of old characters that are coming into the MCU now. Marvel has a track record of ruining characters that I used to love, even in their own franchise. So this includes Thor, the Hulk, Ant-Man, and Drax, just to name a few. I also don't like their new Spider-Man, but that's just to name a few. And dare I mention Evan Peters' character in WandaVision? I'm not even going to say the name that they gave him. That was such a disgrace. Holy cow, what a letdown. And now they're bringing all these old villains into the MCU. Here's an issue. These characters already had complete arcs, or rightful deaths, or whatever, rightful jail time. All these old villains that have appeared in the trailers already went through their growths, okay? And now they're back. And I'm just scared that Marvel's going to screw them up because they've screwed up so many characters for me. And I also am scared for the dynamic of these old characters interacting within the MCU franchise. Because, again, the tone of these movies is so comedic. And characters like Doc Ock and the Green Goblin or Electro, all these characters came from much more serious movies with huge consequences. Okay, people actually died in this movie, believe it or not. These movies that they used to come from, but now they're with high schoolers and they're going to be joking around. There was already a joke in the trailer with Doc Ock that made me want to freaking throw up. But I'm scared that these characters will be ruined, that they will not interact with these characters well, that they'll be reinvented somehow to fit the comedic tone of Marvel. And then lastly, if the rumors are true, which one of them definitely already is, if Andrew and Tobey are coming back, I am so scared for these characters in particular. I love both of their depictions of Spider-Man, even though some of their movies had, plenty of flaws. I love their depictions of Peter Parker. I think they got the core of Peter Parker pretty correct in the Raimi trilogy and the Amazing series. But now they're in the MCU too. What does Marvel have planned for them? I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be good. And while I'm definitely excited to see them potentially, I am just so scared that Marvel is going to give them the Marvel treatment. It's going to be comedy, and it's going to be generic, and it's going to be reinvention that's not going to work. At least that's my fear. So there you have it, folks. My 3 reasons that I'm scared for Spider-Man No Way Home. Are you scared for Spider-Man No Way Home? Can you relate to anything I'm saying? Are you excited? Let me know in the comments. Share your thoughts on my opinions and also on the film itself. Let me know what you're thinking going into this. Again, everyone, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you maybe when I do a review for this movie.